Well, I got a letter in the mail today, and I want to share it with you. It says, Dear Mr. Levin, when the idea of our son Jeb running for president first came up, I said, wait a minute. I got a letter from Barbara Bush or George H.W. Bush? How cool is that? When the idea of our son Jeb running for president first came up, I was hesitant. By the way, we all were Mrs. Bush. Or is it Mr. Bush? No, it's Barbara Bush. I was truly thinking how hard this would be on his immediate precious family. Well, we all know that's the issue. How hard it is on Jeb and his family, not what's good for the country. Anyway, here's my letter from Barbara Bush. She went on, but our problems are so profound and America needs a leader who can renew the promise of this great nation, and Jeb is that man. I thought to myself after reading this wonderful sentence, is this not amazing that Jeb Bush's mother supports him for president? I think it's great. She writes, Jeb has traveled to the early presidential caucus and primary states of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. Really? I thought he kept going to Manhattan to fundraisers, but I could be wrong. Those he meets are discovering a refreshingly straight shooter. But don't just take it from me. Just ask the great people of Florida, who had great personal respect for Jeb and his public service. I unequivocally want him to run, and as he considers running for president, he needs your strong and early backing as well. Well, I find this enormously persuasive. Let's go on, shall we? This letter from Barbara Bush. If you're looking for a fresh voice to unite all Americans, please join me today in urging Jeb to run. Urging Jeb to run? Does he need us to urge him to run? I thought he was running. Let's continue. As his mother, I can tell you that Jeb is interested in serving you, not the Washington crowd. Now, I do have to stop there. Jeb is the Washington crowd, like brother and daddy. He's an outsider? Is that what they're trying to say? He's deeply held beliefs in the power and talent of individuals to achieve, and frankly, he loves serving and intelligently cutting waste to make government work better and cost less. He's focused on real-world results, transparent leadership, accountability from public servants. He's the enemy of partisan gridlock that fails all of us by cheapening what should be adult conversations on issues that urgently matter. I thought to myself, Barbara Bush, did you write this? It sounds so, what, Mr. Producer? Commonly repetitive. We can't have this gridlock, you know. She goes on, as Florida's governor, Jeb's free market vision created 1.3 million new jobs. He cut taxes by nearly $20 billion, vetoed more than $2.3 billion in earmarks, and reduced the state government workforce by more than 13,000. Mr. Levin, I said, oh, yes. Jeb believes that citizens like you make this country great. And I hope you get the chance to meet him when he visits Virginia. I have tried. Mr. Producer, would you do me a favor? Please contact the Jeb Bush non-campaign. Let them know I got a letter from his mother who said that he wants to meet me. Would you tell them this, please? Tell them I want to meet him too. Would he please come on my program? I might ask some tough questions, but I'll be respectful. I won't be a lapdog, but I'd like to ask him questions. Tell him I got a letter from his mother. I'm going to quote it. Mr. Levin, Jeb believes that citizens like you make this country great, and I hope you get the chance to meet him when he visits Virginia. I'd rather meet him now. It will not take you long to know that he is energized because he sees how close we are to potentially unleashing America's best qualities by reversing government's overreach and granting amnesty to illegal immigrants. No, I just added that part. Jeb also stands out for his commitment to run an effort that will be focused on the power of positive ideas. Jeb also stands out for his commitment to run an effort. What does that mean? To run an effort? To run an effort that will be focused on the power of positive ideas. Yes, he's a positive guy. No question. He's a man of yes. Yes to Common Core. Yes to open borders. Yes, potentially to more taxation. He's a yes man. He's firmly convinced that moving America forward, oh, but they took that line right from Obama. Moving America forward. Genius. Means elevating our national debate. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? No, nobody knows what that means. Should he decide to run, he can also be counted on to be a strong commander-in-chief and friend to America's friends. Really? So why would he have a hack, an Israel hater like James Baker as one of his top advisors? And Mrs. Bush writes, as Jeb considers this new path to public service as president, he's thoughtfully looking at many factors, and none among them is more critical than gaining a sense for the scale of grassroots support in both Virginia and across the nation. The very best way you can help encourage him to run today is with your early support of $250, $150, or even $25 to the Right to Rise Super PAC. This is critical to showing Jeb that there will be the necessary depth of resources and grassroots support if he decides to run for president. May I stop there for a moment? So we should donate money to the Jeb Bush Super PAC to show Jeb that he can raise the resources to run for president. Didn't he just raise $100 million? Wasn't he bragging in private that it's more money ever raised by any candidate in that short a period of time? And they're hitting up people for $250, $150, or even $25 to demonstrate that he can raise the resources that are necessary. Barbara, did you really have to participate in this? Jeb using his mother this way, writing me a letter like this? She finishes, Barbara does. I know that's a lot to ask, but Jeb is our best chance of taking back the White House in 2016, and I hope that you will please join me today in pushing him to run. Run, Jeb, run. With warm regards, Barbara Bush. So we're now supposed to convince Jeb to run. Well, Mrs. Bush says this would be, a real drag on the family, and Jeb is making such a great sacrifice. Well, let me try this. Jeb, I don't want your family to suffer through a presidential campaign. God knows they deserve better than this. And Jeb, I know you're more cerebral than most because your mom says so here. I know you're a spectacular candidate, the only one who can win. I know this because your mom says so here. And I know you haven't decided whether to run or not because your mom says so here. But Jeb, may I be honest with you? Does it really get any lower than this? To sign a fundraising letter like this? To put these words in your mom's mouth? And to try and separate people from $25 when you're hitting up millionaires and billionaires and sticking it into a super PAC to get around the limits that candidates have when they raise money. Is this really the right thing to do with your mother, Jeb? I don't think so. She didn't write that. She doesn't care about me. You're coming to Virginia or not, you won't come on the program. You're not lifting the debate. You're pandering. You're not lifting the debate. You believe in big government. The Republican Party would do well without you. So don't put your family through this because God knows your mother really didn't want you to go through this. And just get out of the way.